A brief history of genetic programming and evolutionary computing. Evolutionary computing is a more general way to refer to all the approaches that relate this concept of biological evolution with computational models evolving through time. It begins almost together with computer science because the earliest computer scientists, such as Alan Turing, John von Neumann, Norbert Wiener, and others, were motivated in large part by visions of computer programs with intelligence, with lifelike ability of self-replicate, and with the adaptive capability to learn and control their environments. During the period of 1950s and 1960s, several computer scientists studied evolutionary systems and developed evolutionary algorithms for optimization and machine learning with the idea that evolution could be used as an optimization tool for engineering problems. Also, during the same period, evolutionary biologists used computers to simulate evolution for the purpose of controlled experiments. Evolutionary computation was definitely in the air in the formative days of the electronic computer. Genetic algorithms were invented by John Holland in the 1960s and his students and colleagues at the University of Michigan. Holland's genetic algorithm is a method for moving from one population of chromosomes to a new population by using a kind of natural selection, together with some genetic inspired operators of crossover, mutation, and inversion. In 1980 to 1990, genetic programming was invented by John Kosak, also a PhD student of Holland, as a genetic algorithm for programs evolution. He did 205 publications, a series of 4 books with accompanying videos, and all this bibliography established genetic programming. The biological terminology. These genetic and evolutionary techniques are way related to biological concepts of genetics and evolution. Actually, genetic algorithms and genetic programming are inspired in Darwin's evolutionary theory and more precisely based on Darwinian natural selection. Let's take a look at the basic biological definitions needed to understand the logic behind these algorithms. Evolution. Let's start by talking about evolution. Evolution, simply put, is descent with modifications. But biological evolution is not simply a matter of change over time, because lots of things change over time. Trees lose their leaves, mountains rise and erode, but they aren't example of biological evolution because they don't involve descent through genetic inheritance. So there is a big difference between change over time and evolve through genetical inheritance. The central idea of biological evolution is that all life on Earth shares a common ancestor, just as you and your cousin share a common grandmother. Through the process of descent with modification, the common ancestor of life on Earth gave rise to the fantastic diversity that we see documented in the fossil record and around us today. Evolution means that we're all distant cousins, whether we are humans, trees, birds, or whales. We all share a common ancestor. Natural selection. Natural selection is one of the basic mechanisms of evolution, along with mutation, migration, and genetic drift. The idea of evolution by natural selection is understood as a sequence of steps that derives of a population to evolve into a new population. The main phases present on the process of natural selection are heredity. This is the process by which children receive properties from their parents. Variation. There must exist differences in the properties of the population. This way, new or different genetical configurations will be produced generation to generation. Selection, a mechanism by which some members of a population become parents and pass their genetic information, and others don't. Also referred to as survival of the fittest. So, if you have variation, differential reproduction, and heredity, you will have evolution by natural selection as an outcome. It is simple as that. Now let's talk about genetics. We're interested in codifying the information of a set of individuals that belong to a given population. So the first important concept are the genes. This is a single parameter that characterizes an individual. For illustrative purpose, let's assume genes are single slot that can handle a value of 1 or 0. Now, the chromosomes are a list of genes and also make what we call an individual. Each individual will contain the same amount of information or genes listed as shown in the figure. Finally, our population will be a collection of different chromosomes or individuals that we are interested to study. Other evolutionary mechanisms. In order to understand the basic process of evolution in genetic programming, it is important to mention the following concepts. Crossover is the most significant phase in a genetic algorithm. For each pair of parents to be mated, a crossover point is chosen at random from within the genes. The children from these parents are created by exchanging the genes of parents among themselves until the crossover point is reached. Mutation. Mutation is a change in the genes inherited by a children from its parents. In certain new offsprings formed, some of their genes can be mutated with a low random probability. This implies that some of the bits in the bit string can be flipped. Mutation occurs to maintain diversity within the population to prevent premature convergence.